How's it going, everyone? In this video, what I'm going to go over is how to download and merge in data into a tracked level shapefile. And I came across this website. I think we talked about it a little bit, but it is the MassGIS. And this is a site that I think makes not only downloading, but also the process of merging the data pretty straightforward. So I just Googled MassGIS and it takes me to this site here. And it's going to look a little bit, maybe a little bit intimidating. Maybe you've seen it before, but in any event, I just scrolled down here to download free data. And what we're going to be looking for here are the census and demographic data. That's the example I'm going to go over. I encourage you to scroll through and look for potential other sources of data that may be of interest. They make a lot of data available, so too much to cover here, but please take a look. So again, back to the census and demographic data. We're going to look for the 2010 US Census data. The reason why is because the 2020 census information, and I'm just going to click here super quick. And then if we look at downloads, what we're going to see is that they just don't make many data layers available. And that's because the census estimates are a mess. And so they're actually not even going to release them. Instead, they're releasing estimates of the population numbers. So we will stick with 2010 for this example. So we'll click census and demographic data, and then data layers. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to download the shapefile for census tracts. And the way we get that is we'll scroll down and you'll see here there's this, it says shapefiles. Ignore this geodatabase business. So we'll click shapefiles and you'll see it will start to download. And then the next piece of information or information we're going to grab is we'll click on that summary file 1. And what you'll see is if we scroll down, they make a whole bunch of different data tables available. And they range from, they cover all kinds of information: household information, mobility, nativity, race, ethnicity, so on and so forth. So once we click on that 2010 summary file 1 link, it'll take us here, and you'll see that there is some description about what is available, and also just generally what's available, but also some of the naming conventions. So for our purposes in this example, we're going to be looking for CT for census tract. Also, what we see here is that it tells us how we're going to merge, what are the variables that we're going to use to merge the information that's downloaded from each of these sources. And so again, what we're going to look for here are not these access tables. We're not going to get those. Rather, what we're going to do is we're going to get these DBase tables, and these are the ones that they say are user friendly. And when we click on this, the names are pretty self-explanatory. Also, when we open them up and look at their contents, the variables are named. In a lot of cases, it's pretty intuitive what the variables are. There's also, if it's not clear, You can look at the documentation available here, and it will tell you exactly what each variable is if it's not clear. Of course, I will be more than happy to help you with that too. But if you are dying to read some census data documentation, which I don't blame you, this would be the place to do that. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to move them, copy them over and unzip them, and then I will show you how the merging goes. Okay, so what I did is I took these two zipped files that we just downloaded. I put them in a different directory that I will be working from for the rest of this example. And so here's how the merging process works conceptually. We have a unique identifier for each of the census tracts in the state in the geography file. So when we look at this census 2000 block group tract shape files, these are all what are referred to as the geography files because they contain the information for different levels of geography. And here in SF1, again, we have information. This is the data, essentially. And so what we're going to do, they share a linking field. So they both have a unique identifier that is the same that will allow us then to match in the data. What you will notice also is that this example will be for the entire state, although what you will be able to do is you can select out just Suffolk County using the select by attributes, and the county code or the county FIPS code, I forget exactly what the term is, but the county code is 25. So when you look at all unique values on county, when you're doing that selection, you can just select 25 and you'll see that will take just Suffolk County. So let me just, what I'm going to do next is I am going to open up the census tract level file, and then I will show you the merging process. It's just going to take me 1 sec to open that up. So be right back. All right. So what you'll see here is that I'm going to double click on this folder, and then what we're looking for is census tracts. And when we add that, you'll see that we get all the census tracts in the entire state. So we know we're just focusing on, most of us are focusing just on Suffolk County. And then what we're going to do here is we are going to right click on census tracts, and then you see that there's an option here, joins and relates. We are going to click join, and what you'll see is that a dialog box opens up. And what we are going to choose next, this is where that information about the logical record number and the linking fields. So if we open up this MassGIS again, you'll see that so we need log SF1 in the shapefile, the one we have open, and then logical record number in the SF1. So the variable we're going to choose here then, you'll see, is log SF1. And then what we will do is we can choose one of these tables. However, it's important to keep in mind that we can't just match any of them. You'll see here the _B, that refers to blocks. BG, not the wonderful, I don't know if they're a rock band, but they are a wonderful band, were a wonderful band nevertheless, the Bee Gees. So this is block groups. And then CT are the census tract data. And what we have here, it says we have group quarters, and then HH stands for household. So household age and family characteristics. We have household owner and renter. So that's what they refer to as tenure. Population, age, and gender, population, age, and race. And so let's choose one. I will choose, let's choose population by age and gender. And so we're going to click add here, and then we're going to have to specify the linking field. And in this case, it is this logical record number. And so let's just see how it goes. And what you see here is that we were able to match 1-to-1 using logical log SF1 from our geography file with logical record number from the data file. And so if we close this and then hit OK, what we will do next is we will open up the attribute table. And what we'll see is that when we scroll over, we now have all of this information about the population. This would be median age for the total population for this census tract, the number of males, the median age, and so on and so forth. So what we had before was just the information up through shape length. So we just had the basic information about the boundaries, to which we then added information about the gender compositional qualities of neighborhoods. One thing I want to point out is the Mass GIS data. They make it really easy to merge in. They kind of give you the instructions, but most data, if it has information about state, county, and then the tract ID, a lot of times data that we're going to see has this variable called GeoID 10. And what that means, it's a geographic identifier, and this is 10 is for the census year 2010. And so, for example, what I will show you is that in another data file that we also have, that I created previously, you'll see that it also has this GeoID 10. So increasingly, shapefile data sources will have a unique identifying characteristic, and a lot of times, more often now than previous years, the data provider or those who produce it will create identifiers that will allow folks to map them more readily. So once we have merged those data, if we can now create maps that show the distributional qualities. Also, as I mentioned, we're going to want to select just Suffolk County. And so you'll see here, we want to select creating a selection. And so we want to do if county ID is equal to 25. And what you'll see here is that when we click that, it'll take just the tracts in Suffolk County, which are the ones that we need. All right. So that was the merging process. Also, now that they are joined, we haven't changed any of the data. These joins are not permanent. But if we wanted to save a shapefile that contains the merged data or the matched data, we can do that by right-clicking and then scrolling down to Data and then Export Data. Or if we weren't interested in doing that, and we just wanted to match in data quickly for, to make a quick map. We can also remove the joins, and we do that by right-clicking and then scrolling down to joins and relates, and then remove joins. And we can click, since we only have joined one data file here, we can click either. I'll just click remove all. And now if we click the attribute table again, you'll see we no longer have all of that information about the gender distributions in the various neighborhoods in Massachusetts. So that is the merging process, and that is the way that we link them. Again, I recommend and feel like there is a lot of data on the MassGIS website that will be suitable for the purposes of this project. However, it probably won't be satisfactory for everybody. So if that is the case for you and you have some ongoing or some difficulties matching in data, let me know, and we can talk about it and figure out how to get you going. Thanks a lot, everyone, and I look forward to hearing about your projects. Talk to you soon.